Hey guys, welcome back. It's officially spooky season and this is going to be a deck video. I'm going to show you the decks in my collection, tarot and oracle and in between. Can you already guess which one I'm talking about when I say that? That have to do with just fall/autumn and Halloween. You know, the thinning of the veil, the time to go inwards to maybe search for some shadow work to do. And then also, let's not forget the fun that Halloween also is. So let me start off by saying, should I apologize for last week's video? Or, 2 weeks ago? I'm not quite sure. It was Sassy Anna coming out. She doesn't often come out on camera. I feel I definitely explained in the description box underneath the video when it was uploaded that I recognized a lot of these things because I too had been participated in those things and thoughts and feelings mostly in the past. You know, around the beginning, first few times on the internet uploading your own things, first few times doing readings for other people, there are some insecurities and stuff that come out. So perhaps here and there some projecting going on, but then on the other hand, if you've lived it, if you're the one who already has made a couple of those mistakes, then it's also easier to spot. And again, not blaming anybody, it's all really fine. If you're interested what I'm babbling about right now, you have no idea, check out the video. It's the previous one. So let's get into these Halloween October decks. Let's start off with one I've been enjoying a lot. Gothic Tarot by Joseph Vargo. This is absolutely a strange deck. It's cardstock that's very cardboardy. It is absolutely dark. Sometimes I feel it's hard to really see the images. It's actually that dark. The reason that I love this though is because it really tells a story, and it's kind of a surprise what comes up, because you can pick the Seven of Wands and get this image. You have to use your tarot knowledge, numerology, elements, Kabbalistic tree of life if you use that, astrology if you use that. It's all in there anyway. Even if you don't know, you do still know the meaning. But mostly, since a lot of these cards in this deck depict something a little different than the Rider-Waite-Smith, which is kind of the system that it does follow, I believe, you have to use your intuition, and then some really interesting things come up. Now, I don't have the guidebook. I kind of wish I did. I do have a feeling, though, this is one of those decks that I shouldn't like for two main reasons. Is because, well, look, I'm pretty sure that quite a few of these cards are just Joseph Vargo artwork and were not initially made for a tarot deck. Anyone else who has this deck, do you have the same feeling? And then second of all, quite a lot of female, ladies in distress. Although we also have this. But then again, this looks a lot like a witch taking revenge, and I like it, but I can understand also that for some people, seeing temperance in this way, let me show you again, can be a little strange. But, well, you know what? That's what makes it such a good deck, actually, a surprisingly good one, because it's a little strange. And yes, it comes out in the month of September, October, November. These are the backs, by the way. I've been doing client readings with this one. Every time I flip through it after not having used it for a while, just on the bookshelf, I question if this is actually a good deck to read with. But then I just trust my instinct, my intuition. I trust that I know the base knowledge of what each and every card means and how they interact with each other. And I just read. And there's a lot of intuition that comes when you read with this deck, but I really enjoy it, and they're always surprising readings with a twist. So, I think that's pretty cool. Name says it all. There's another Gothic tarot that's also really cool. I believe, though, recently out of print. Not quite sure. I'm not up to date at all. Then let's go with another mass market deck, Halloween tarot, obviously. For the people who have been on this channel, who've been watching videos on this channel for a while, you guys know that I'm Crazy Tarot Lady, and I blackened the sides, the borders on front and back of each and every card. It took forever. It also rubs off, but it looks so much better, and I wasn't going to trim this deck because I like borders. This is not, in my opinion, a novelty deck. In my opinion, this is a very good, legitimate, true tarot deck that you can delve deep with. I, again, don't own the large guidebook. I wish I did. This one is amazing because, well, I grew up in the Netherlands. I still live there. And we never had Halloween when I was growing up. It kind of really started to come to the Netherlands when I was in my 20s, so very late. And only then Halloween parties started happening. And only then we started getting misfit cover bands on Halloween weekend, where everybody came dressed up like something scary, a zombie, or I don't know, ex-wife. Another Mean Girls reference, sorry about that. I wonder if this year we're gonna get some Trump people with the Band-Aid, or maybe the, what's her face, the Australian breakdancer girl with the kangaroo pose. That would be iconic, obviously. I don't know if we're gonna be that, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually, the reason I'm sharing that we never grew up with Halloween, this is really something that we saw from the movies. And then when it started to come to this country, that whole atmosphere and people getting excited about Halloween, or it's just a reason to hang out with friends, obviously, and go out, that was really cool. So I feel a lot of us have embraced the Halloween, the Samhain, obviously, for witches, but the Halloween atmosphere, and this deck definitely delivers with those images, but also all those colors. And obviously Rider-Waite-Smith type clone. But this is one of the things about this deck that I always share, but it's just so true. I feel it makes such a big difference. All the suits, so here the pentacles or coins, they are pumpkins, and pumpkins have a face. So you could see them as more alive. We just saw the swords. This is the 10 of swords. And look at that. They're all bats. They're also alive, a creature that is present there. So it gives this whole different meaning to the card, or a whole different feel, at least, to the card. And then we got the wands. They are imps, although the Queen of Wands is holding a wand there, but these right here are the imps. So for instance, in the 8 of imps, so 8 of wands, which is usually very abstract card, now in this deck we have 8 red imps flying in the sky. So it means really, I don't know, it just really changes the reading style, I guess. And it changes how you could usually interpret Rider-Waite-Smith card, where it's just one person surrounded by cups, for instance. And here it's one person surrounded by, well, cups are ghosts in this deck. So ghosts. And then what does that mean? It just brings this whole other energy to every card. And I really appreciate that. So there, Halloween Tarot. Obvious pick, but so ready for this one. Next I have an oracle. This is Cave of Sybil Oracle by artist Chiara May, who came out first with the Ritual Tarot. I have a specific. I have a different copy. It's one of the first test prints. And this is very serious, very dark, very deep, and sometimes shocking. So if this is what you're looking for, this is the oracle for you. It goes very deep, it's searching. I think you could really easily do some death work with this deck, some ancestor work with this deck, just practical magic with this deck. It is very fiery, extremely dark in color and images, and I do like that a lot. It doesn't always strike me as shocking, which is something I definitely should or need to consider. I catch myself every so often when doing client readings. Now, I wouldn't use an oracle deck, period. It's not my first choice, let's just say that. I'm a tarot reader, and then sometimes in longer sessions I use oracle, but I don't think I would use this one though, unless the client specifically requests it. I think this is very much dark feminine, working on the godliness within you and what truly that means to you. It's very shadowy, obviously. I love it, and I should work with it more. It's just, I'm such a tarot reader. But yeah, Cave of Sybil, it's on my altar. I have a very dark altar with dark themes like this deck, so it suits it really well. And, you know, if you're into diving deep into images, doing some of that path working, really trying to figure out what each and every symbol on the card means, or cards, then this deck is for you, for sure. Another deck that's very intuitive for me, another oracle deck that I do whip out for any reading. This is kind of the obsession. Wow, Freudian slip. Interesting. Freudian slip, sorry. I was trying to say exception. Yes, this is the exception. This is my Secret Pocket Oracle. So this is by Patrick Valenza. Patrick made my favorite deck, which you will also see in this video. This little oracle is extremely intuitive, as I said, and it's incredible how much how much one single simple image like this can convey as a message, especially next to some tarot cards that you've already interpreted. So amazing. Also some personal symbolism in there. Obviously, the synchronicity of all of this, gorgeous. And you know what? For me, this is definitely not just a dark deck or a Halloween deck or a funny dark deck. It's one that goes with everything that I have, anytime, anywhere, basically. But you can see the sort of, it's just his style, isn't it? The creepy vibes with the tooth. Definitely appreciate this one. Let's continue with the Patrick Valenza stuff. Let me show you real quick, just for the people who have never seen a single video on my channel. Triomphe della Luna Paradoxical, the classic edition. My baby. I adore the pips. He just did such an incredible job. So look, if this is not one of your staple decks, then whip it out for the month of October, for Halloween, for the darker months, because it's so worth it. And again, it's very satirical, like many Tarot de Marseille's were anyway, historically. So that checks out. But then also it's this world, this astral world that I visit when I use this deck. It's a very friendly atmosphere. It's a very friendly, welcoming world for me because I feel like a little monster. I feel like an outcast slash misfit. And all of these guys are little beasties, little monster friends. Absolutely. Little demon friends, I call them. And they too are outcasts and misfits. And this is not the type of energy that will shun you. This is the type of energy that will welcome you. I don't know how else to describe it at this point, but see just this little face. And I have so many videos about this deck. Just basically, in my opinion, translating what this says, for instance, how you can translate that to the Rider-Waite-Smith, for instance, but then also numerology, the classic Tarot de Marseille system, as far as we know it, right? I mean, I love this deck so much, and it's there with me always, but I say it's a good one to explore if it's not already one that you read with a lot. So that was a little bit longer than I anticipated. What I actually wanted to show you was this color version because yes, I got very lucky that a friend sent me this deck. I also have the blue one, also thanks to viewers. Absolutely amazing, and it's upside down. And I love all of these. I don't have the rose one and I can live without it, I guess. I also don't have the, just the normal version. I don't have that. But just look at this. And isn't this a little bit more in the Halloween vibes than the other one? It's just because of the purple. Let's be honest. But I love it. I love it so much. And yeah, so there you go, the purple Triomphe della Luna. So just whip out a purple deck that's a little bit creepy maybe, and it will go well with your Halloween tarot, which you should definitely own. Okay, last one in this series, because this is all the same deck. I'm incredibly sorry. There's also, of course, the one with the illustrated pips, which has more humor, has more weird stuff, I'd say. You can read it more intuitively, perhaps. Depends on how your brain works, obviously. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't read with this deck. I just don't. It's too much like my baby, and then when I read with it, it just doesn't do the same thing, so I get frustrated. And that's no hate for this deck because it's really cool, and I see people appreciating it all over the place. Because Patrick Valenza's work, it's something that most of us appreciate in the tarot community. For some reason, a lot of tarot readers are into the more creepy, dark stuff. And then Halloween Samhain is definitely a witch holiday or a magical practitioner holiday. So all of those things come together during this time of the year. I mean, where I live, and I think this is actually a really, really good one to have, right? I mean, if you don't particularly like the Marseille version, there are some really, really good cards. I just, for some reason, didn't take the time to bond with it. I will keep this for sure. It's just something that I really, really enjoy having. But to read with, it's just, I don't know, I'm being difficult. I realize that. It has something special though, doesn't it? So there you go. I can recommend the illustrated pips as well, as he calls it, or Scenic Pips. Another deck that has all the right colors. It's one of the darkest decks out there, and it's not tarot, it's not oracle, it's magical guidance cards. Hell yeah, I'm here promoting my own deck as well. Guys, just seriously, if you want an oracle deck that's not like the others, you can read this as oracle. This is the version with the words on the back with enough room for you to add something. The use that I had in mind for this deck, and that is how I use it most of the time, words, is actually for magical work. So if you want to do some sort of magical work, some sort of intention setting, and you don't really know how to go about it, this is all my pictures, by the way, I took all these photographs, then you pull a card and you can first look at the image and see what it means, and then turn it around, and there you go, there's your explanation and things that you can do. So in this case, scrying, pendulum, crystal ball, black mirror. So this card is much more about divination, for instance. This card is all about sigils, right? And there are no rules. You can use this deck in any way you want. If you pull a card and you're like, that is absolutely not what I need right now, no worries. You can even take it out of the deck completely. But just pull another one, or another one, or another one. Use all the cards. Use no cards. Do what you want with this deck, for real. It's the no rules deck. I also have a version that has blank backs, and then I made a guidebook on Instagram. You can find that on there, and you can just screenshot it and you'll have all the words that belong on the backs of these cards. And then this is the Lilith version, because I work with the entity Lilith. But if you're not about that, then there's also one version that has a blank card, I believe, instead of the Lilith card. So you can just draw your own little thing or something on the face of that card. Yes, very small, handy, you can take it anywhere, and well, I do. Last three decks. Tarot par Polka. This is such a bloody, gory deck. It comes out not necessarily around Halloween for me, actually more often around Christmas, because of I know it's very gory, very bloody, but because of the deep colors. And look at cards like these. This is giving me the Christmas creepy vibes. So the perfect Halloween Christmas, basically. Yeah, you have the dark green, the dark red. It's pretty cool. And I've talked about this deck so many times on my channel. Whoops. On my channel. It's one I will never get rid of. I enjoy it so, so much. And this is just one that you can play with. So that's all I have to say about that one for now. Then there's another one of my absolute staples. I wouldn't be Astral Lady Tarot without this deck. Crow's Magic Tarot. The other baby, right? So this is very dark. Can be confronting. I just love the theme. Pulled this card the other day for myself. And this is one where you just have to dive deep. Spiky butt. This is just one of those decks. Do you guys remember this? If you've been on my channel watching videos for a while. I got this deck when I saw maybe 4 images, no more than that, of the deck online. And I got this, it looked, the artwork, etc., looked like nothing I wanted, because aesthetics, but who cares about aesthetics? Also, by the way, it is gorgeous, okay? It's so ugly, it's absolutely gorgeous. I adore it. It's my soul deck, all right? Here we go. I love Triunfo della Luna. Both of them are my soul decks, when you can't choose. Anyway, I'm saying I had such a visceral reaction in my body. I thought, wow, I need to work with these images. And when I got the deck, I went into it pretty blind because I had only seen a maximum of 4 images. So when I got the deck, I unboxed it on camera and I just knew, guys. I just knew. And I didn't think other people were going to love this one, but quite a few actually do. Oh God, it's just so good. It's just so, so good. So again, if this isn't one of your staples, first of all, what are you doing? No, kidding. If this isn't one of your, Sassiana's coming out, so be aware. I feel her. I feel her coming out. My alter ego, my evil twin. Oh no. If this isn't one of your staple decks, but you do own it, take it out during the dark months. Give it a chance. See what it does. Use it on its own. Actually, lastly, this is the one I'm least excited about, but I just feel like I should show you, is the Wildwood. And this is a deck I did bond with, although I haven't used it in quite a while. But for some reason, it gives me the good vibes, you know, the good feelings, the grounded earth feelings of nature. And it's definitely not an autumn deck, but it has all the autumn colors. It's a deck that depicts all the seasons actually, so that's pretty good. But yeah, for some reason this is my rainy day nostalgia deck. Although I have to admit, less and less. That was really something that was true a couple years ago. And I'm keeping it because I remember loving this and loving working with this. So I do anticipate those days or those feelings kind of coming back because I have no deck that replaces this one, not even Druidcraft. And well, there you go. I do think since in the Netherlands it rains so much, it rains just buckets, just waterfalls. You could just have dry shampoo in your hair and then start shampooing in the rain outside, especially during autumn. So when autumn hits and then you get the whole deep dark winter, this is actually a really good deck. It's a cozy rainy day deck. And I have more of those, but this one is truly the one that I associate with being at home, having that gorgeous cup of hot tea or gorgeous cup of hot cocoa. You're about to watch Practical Magic, you know, that whole the sudden urge to go live in a remote town in this big castle-like house with your sister, gardening, making lotions, making potions, falling in love, casting spells. Okay. Yes, guys, this is what I leave you with. I hope you enjoyed this deck video. This one was for the people who enjoy deck videos. I have to say, I'm always a little curious when it comes to people's Halloween decks or darker decks for fall, that kind of thing. You see those videos coming around every year, and every year I'm like, I should really do it. So, well, this was mine, and I know maybe it wasn't anything special, but all of these decks are actually really special to me. I really enjoy having them. I really love working with them. If you're a client of mine, you will have seen these, and I for sure bond with them by reading with them for myself as well. So thank you as always for being here. Please put something on the comment section, maybe like the video if you did. Stick around because I'm going to put a video in the screen real soon now that I think you'll enjoy as well if you liked this one. Let's do the old school subscribe. It's free, and I will see you very soon, okay?